In a moment I'll show you on the video screen behind me a little video clip of my own floppy vocal folds as I'm making sound. That picture will be taken by a fiber optic, which is a little teeny thing about the size of a thread that has both a light shining from it and a video lens. That goes up through my nose and down to my throat and then shines on my vocal folds as they're making sound. Now that light is connected to a strobe light, so it turns on and off at a certain periodicity, and that period is determined by a little sensor that they put here on my larynx, which tells the strobe light how fast my vocal folds are opening and shutting, and then it slows that down so you'll actually see my vocal folds in slow motion. Actually, they're opening at 140 times a second or so for this particular pitch, but you'll see them in slow motion in a very floppy, undulating way, very much like my own lips, only even much floppier. Those vocal folds are actually situated in my throat, or in your throat as well, of course, behind the Adam's apple. I'm going to take off this thyroid cartilage, and then we see another layer in the larynx. The top of that layer is the epiglottis, which comes down to cover up your windpipe when you're swallowing, so you don't swallow down your windpipe. And then inside of that are the vocal folds. I'll show you that in a little bigger model. Here again is your Adam's apple, thyroid cartilage. Here's the epiglottis over the top of the glottis. And then underneath that are these vocal folds, which open and shut with the breath coming through them extremely rapidly, which create the sound, like clapping creates high frequencies. Now, those high frequencies can get created by the vocal fold, but they need to be amplified in various spaces in the vocal tract. And those in the singer's formant frequency, it is thought, are created and amplified in the little space underneath the epiglottis and above the vocal folds. That's the space exactly the right size to amplify those high singer's formant frequencies. And as long as you do nothing up the vocal tract to block those frequencies, then those high singer's formant frequencies, if they're correctly produced by a free floppy vocal fold, will be shot out into the room, and you'll hear that as the exciting singer's formant frequency. The vowels are made by moving the tongue, the E vowel by moving the tongue forward to create a little space here in the front, which is a little bit larger than the vestibule of the larynx, which amplifies the singer's formant frequency, so it's at a little lower frequency than the singer's formant, as you'll see in the clip on the spectrograph. When you say an O, your tongue falls back, creates a small space back here, which amplifies a set of frequencies that are a little lower than the E formant. Again, you'll see that on the spectrograph. Okay, here are then these wonderfully floppy things which recreate the sound that we like to hear.